YouTube, what is up? Lemon here. Welcome back to more finally some Master Duel videos. We have been away in a while because I just haven't had the motivation to make more, because like everything's so stale. I think I've covered every single meta deck by now. There's no new cards, no new ban lists. I'm just gonna start milking it tomorrow with like new ban list predictions. But you know what we do when there's no good content? We make bad content. And today's bad content, I do believe, has been stolen by Disease already. I call it Slurp. Slurping deck is basically it, as its namesake. We are stealing our opponent's cards. So what is Slurp? Slurp is a Relinquished deck. So Pegasus. What this deck is a ritual and fusion based deck that is focusing on. It's actually more fusion based. We want to make our Millennium Eyes restrict, and then just start sucking up every single monster our opponent controls in order to stop them from doing anything they want. Because if we suck it with Millennium Eyes Restrict, any of that monster's effects or with the same name is negated. So I'm sure you guys have seen memes of Millennium Eyes Restrict sucking 3 golden boys. That is a very fun one. Okay, so time for our deck list. This is a going second deck. Jester Comfort. This is just a free special summon for a 1-star. This deck is totally budget, by the way. So our 1 cost, and why do we want 1 cost? Because we have a Link 1, the Link 1 Relinquished Anima. This is exactly like a Relinquished, but it has to be pointing to the monster, so we can reset where it points to, where a monster points to, with our Kaijus. Okay, so the next card, Golden Eyes Idol. This card can allow you to look at your opponent's hand, and also if it is attributed, we can just suck one of our opponent's cards. Millennium Eyes Illusion. This is a hand trap. It's a quick effect. Discard to graveyard to suck. Okay, so let's not say suck. We might get demonetized. I'm gonna say slurp to slurp. So we discard 1 to slurp, and if we fusion summon a Millennium Eyes, or or if we ritual summon Relinquished, we can add him back to our hand. So it's some recurability. Sangan is to search for basically a whole deck except for our Kaijus. Ash Blossom, because we're budget. This is Jank to top rank is budget. However, we do have access to the special deal of 750 gems for 1 Ash Blossom. Illusion Faceless Magician. This card is if our Relinquished, or if our fusion monster or Relinquished is destroyed and it's in our graveyard, we can just special summon him. And if sent from field to graveyard, we can target a restrict fusion monster in my graveyard and special summon it. So this is a monster, technically a. What did I just do? No. How do I control? There we go. Put it back. Okay, so we want to look at this card. We're gonna have to press. There we go. So this card is a free body on the field, and also a monster reborn for our Relinquished and Eyes Restrict cards. Next, Radiant is, we all know how Kaijus work. Kaiju is distribute opponent's monsters to special summon on their side of the field. You can choose where to special summon, so Relinquished Anima, we can summon it to the zone exactly it points to. And then continuing up, so Radiant is a Kaiju, Jizukyu is a Kaiju, Thunder King, Lightning is a Kaiju, Gamma Seal is a Kaiju. We want all the strong Kaijus and 1 Gamma Seal, because I'll explain exactly why in a second. Lava Golem. Lava Golem is Kaiju times 2. You can tribute 2 monsters to Kaiju to special summon them, but the cost is you can't normal summon for the turn, which we don't really have too much of this, so we're going to be fine. It has the added bonus of once per turn deal 1000 to your opponent, or to your holder, which is your opponent right now, you know, controlception. We probably will never get that to see that happening. We just want to suck. I mean, slurp. Relinquished is our big suck, boy. So Dark Hole, we have one Dark Hole in here because remember we are going second deck, so we want to. So Dark Hole, Raigeki, same. It's all clearing. It's all one-sided clearing only. Monster Reborn because it's that good. Foolish Burial. There are some. We want to send to our graveyard things like what Millennium Eyes Illusionist to get him to our hand. Golden Eyes Idol stuff. Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion allows us to instantly fusion. That's what instant fusion means. You can just instantly fusion. Do you want to explain more? Instant fusion? Okay. A Law of Darkness is the draw engine of our deck. We draw 2, banish a dark monster. Our whole deck is basically dark except for the kaijus. Even Radions are dark. That's why we have 2 of them. Preparation of Rites. We get to add a ritual monster from our deck to our hand. So that is net neutral, and then we get to add a ritual spell from our graveyard to our hand. This is going to be +1 if we use it right. Now this is where we get why we play a Gamma Seal. So Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. This card is a Dark Hole. Then after you Dark Hold, you summon 2 Kaijus on each side of the field. You're going to give your opponent the weak one, and we're going to give ourselves the strong one. Pre-Preparation of Rites is the broken Preparation of Rites. So this card, we add a ritual spell to our hand, and then if that ritual spell has a specific monster's name, we add that monster to our hand too. So because our ritual spell is black illusion material, it specifically says to ritual summon Relinquished. So therefore, if we add black illusion ritual with pre-preparation of rites, we get to add Relinquished to our hand too. Super polymerization, because we run a super poly package, so we might as well just toss it in. And I only have 1 copy of it, so yeah. Relinquished Fusion. Now this is the other powerhouse of this deck. This is a fusion summon for Millennium Eyes Restrict, and also you can banish it to Slurp. Now looking at our extra deck, we have 1000 Eyes Restrict. We're not going to be using it very much. Millennium Eyes Restrict, our bread and butter. Mud Dragon of the Swamp, Starving Venom, Predaplant, Dragostopedia, and Triumphantarium. This is our super poly targets. Nothing very hard. So we have Levia Sea Dragon. I'm not even sure why it's in here. We can normal summon Sangan, normal summon Ash Blossom, and make him, I guess. Relinquished. This is just for recursion, but we can't summon him. Relinquished Anima. This is a 1-star. Relinquished to Slurp. Nightmare Phoenix is just a package to Wish Apprentice, the buff attack. Crush Sheep does a lot of things. So we're only going to be looking at the fusion effect. If we fusion summon a card onto its zones, we can target a level 4 low monster and Monster Reborn. If we ritual, we can draw 2, discard 2. Pretty neat effect, just for a generic 2. So we play 2 Crush Sheep, Geonator, Transverser, just to swap up. If our opponent has a really good monster, we're going to swap. Well, that's it for the deck list. Let's go and check some replays. Let's go. Alright, jumping into the first replay. Are we ready to see some flipping? I was watching the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Absolutely love that show. So we first started with Preparation of Right, we added Black Illusion Ritual, and now I can add Relinquish. This is a +1 in card advantage. We're going to be fusions, ritual summoning, because we have 2 Relinquish. We don't need 2 Relinquish. We're going to be using 1 as cost and 1 to summon up. You see, this is why ritual summoning is so bad. It is a -2. You have to use the spell and you have to use a monster in your hand. Our opponent is playing a Utopia deck. Utopia double. He is ready to hit us. Our opponent will be able to add a double or nothing, and then straight up a Z summoning into our Utopia. This is threatening OTK already. If my Relinquished wasn't attacked with it, it is actually quite scary. Astraltopia. I could have used Millennium Eyes Illusionist a bit earlier to prevent him from summoning Astraltopia, but it is just my inexperience with how this deck functions with Astraltopia nowadays. Okay, our opponents continue to going. He's playing all the weird and wonderful cards. But So target, I am going to chain Millennium Illusionist to Slurp. We are not saying the other S word, we're saying Slurp. And that just stopped his combo. Thanks for the cards. Oh, look at that. Relinquished Fusion. This is what we do. We will link summon our Relinquished into an Anima, because we just need a level 1. And then we tribute down his monster for the Radion, and then we Slurp it. Now we activate Relinquished Fusion, which can fuse from the graveyard into a Millennium Eyes Restrict attack. So Millennium Eyes Restrict is basically doing that. Now, so all our opponent needs to do is activate a card effect, and we can do the S Slurping. Our opponent can't do anything. Seems like he bricked. We're going to be we don't have like anything to worry about, so we can literally just punch in. Our opponent's on the back foot, so he has to do something. Then we can respond to it. So clearly he has nothing to do. We win the duel, easy peasy. First game, squeezy. Jumping into game number 2. I don't want new stuff in this game. It's been the same thing day in, day out. But we got 2 pre-preparation of rights. I love making. See, we are going second. Our opponent is playing Sky Strikers. Sky Strikers is one of the most hated decks, at least for me, because it is so consistently irritating. It's not even strong. It is just irritating, and especially that Hospital has so much more Sky Striker pieces legal. I like what they do to the token. The animation looks nice. I like they add engage, irritating, pain in the ass. Alright, but we're here for the slurping action. We are going to pre-preparation of rights. We see we drew a Relinquished Fusion, so that means we can do our shenanigans. Relinquished Fusion, we get Max Seed, but we obviously have a response with Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, because we are going to be summoning a few times, so we do not want our opponent to get any advantage of Maxi, so we would rather do a one-on-one trade-off. Because I could have kept the Ash Blossom for. I could have kept it for the engage. I knew he had engage in his hand. But it is more important. I'm going to use Millennium Ice Illusionist to Slurp. I'm going to use that to Slurp. I'm going to attack. So, our opponent has engage. Yeah, you have engage. So what? You're all based around having some cards in hand. Let's see, he's forced to destroy his own module. What? Mecha module. Multi-roll. Yeah, he's forced to destroy his multi-roll. Yeah, sadly he steals our card. That is not fair. I do not condone these card stealing things. You see, only I can steal my opponent's cards. My opponent can't steal my card. That is unfair. And then here comes the engage with the multi-roll, and he draws a card because Sky Strikers plus. On my turn, we don't have much in our hand. We can pre-prep to add some cards into our hand. You know, it's not bad if we fail, because even if it went through, we wouldn't have been able to do anything with it. It is a good bait for his hand trap. Monster Reborn, get back our boy. Let's go. Get back our boy. Illusionist comes back to hand. Now, why didn't I summon him in attack position? I have no idea. I made a misplay over there. So he would have had 1,500 life points less. But would it have made a difference? Yeah, I think it would have. Yeah, I think it would have made a difference. Did that go? Yeah, I think I am out of resources. Therefore, I just surrendered over here. Game 2, not the best. Now we're going to be moving into Game 3. We'll be doing it. So, Game 3, I had the nuts opening, because any opening, if you see Relinquished Fusion, is the nuts. One could play. I was going to consider playing the Orpha the Predator Plant engine just to get up Relinquished Fusion. And we'll just use up my normal summon, but it is absolutely worth. Our opponent's playing Alistair. He's got a combo. He can make Michaba. we can't stop him because being a budget series, we do not have access to the most cards at all. I'm not complaining at all. It's just that like it takes a lot more. It takes a lot more effort to record nice footages. Wind. Our opponent summons wind. Invocation. Now we can only summon once. Oh, pain. What do? Tribute. We use Idol to attempt to get our opponent's hand, but our opponent was having none of it. He's like, I'm going to clear the lease, I'm going to punishment, and the Owl should go after and get an schism. I hate that. I hate it. It's just putzing. Our opponent is Donkey Kong is putzing over here. And what we do is we use 2 in order to make our Millennium Eyes restrict. Now because Idol was fused, we get to Slurp. I have no idea what the activation of God no was there. Now we have 1 hand trap in our hand for a Slurp. We know what's in our opponent's hand. It was a Schism, it was a Wendy, and it was a set, and he drew a set card. We're gonna Foolish into our monster reborn / body. So it looks like our opponent draws Shadow Fusion. We are not scared anymore. He's gonna fuse with 2 cards. Into Construct. Okay, so I remember clearly what happened here. I'm gonna make constructs. I accidentally put my auto chain off. Otherwise, I would have slurped his constructs. See? I would have slurped his constructs right here, but my auto chain was off, so I'm like, why could I not chain at all? That was, I think, quite irritating. Otherwise, I would have stopped him right dead on his track. I could have Millennium Eyes Illusionist, slurp 1, Millennium Eyes Restrict, slurp the Wendy in the graveyard, and then wham bam, thank you ma'am, they are all gone. He cannot chain like this. So now I have to resort to slurping up the Volko. Give it to me. The Volko will be negated because I don't want him. He can draw a card, I don't mind. So we're going to slurp. That's with our fusion spell. So construct, you're fixed negated because I have one of your kind slurped up here. It cannot be activated. I have one of your kind slurped up here. What can you do about it? Now we still have 1 card protection in our hand. We have the Eyes Illusionist. Stomata. No. We are not gonna let you. You activate a card effect. I am gonna slurp you. We can't let him banish cards from his X-ray, so we're gonna flip him. And our opponent has realized he has flip summoned the Ecclesia. He is asking for defeat. If he hasn't flip summoned his Ecclesia, I don't think I could have gone over him even. But yeah, that is 3 games in a row. 2 wins, 1 loss. Not bad. So welcome back to the post replay deck review. So this deck is obviously I'll say bricky even, because if you do not see Relinquished Fusion, it is not the best. You're not going to be having the best time at all. But it is a very fun deck. You have a lot of ways to deal with your opponent's cards. There's a lot of interactions. Not a lot of hand traps, but there are ways to interact, like through your Kaijus, through your Slumber, through your Relinquished Slurps. Yeah, we're not using Suck, we're using Slurp. So I'll say this deck is definitely fun to play. It is the most fun if you can play against Eldritch, because you just slurp all of the Eldritches. But it is, thanks for watching this deck replay. It is Lemon. If you liked the video, please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.